What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio, checking in with the latest and greatest from the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the shitty boy Washington Commanders. Yes, you heard me correctly. This team is shit. It's trash. And once again, I was bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, all that shit in the offseason into thinking that this was our time. This is our time to do positive things, a fresh air, a fresh era, a breath of fresh air, a new name, new quarterback. It's all trash here. I'm not even going to cut to the chase today. We took our third loss in a row, third conference game, second divisional rival, and this one was to Dallas. The day that, we whipped out the fancy new black uniforms because that was going to give the team a spark or some edge. Well, we lost by double digits again for the second week in a row, and technically the third week in a row, because let's not kid ourselves and think that the Lions game was actually just a 9-point defeat. And if we keeping it a buck, we shouldn't even have beat the Jaguars week 1. We should be 0-4 right now. I don't even have the energy to sit here and yell and say crazy shit about this team right now. I'm just going to call it how I see it and get out of here. We're not a good football team. We're a bottom 3 to 5 football team in the league. And this team should be picking very high in the NFL draft in the 2023 season. And at this point, the whole division is good but us. The Eagles are 4-0. The Cowboys and the Giants are 3-1. We're the only shit team in the division. All that shit me and other fans talked about the Giants, we are looking up at all of them. We're bad. There is not one solution to our problem or our ineptitude in the front office, in the coaching staff, in the quarterback room, running back room, offensive line, defensive edge group, or secondary. The entire football operation needs a reset. And this is not a panic. Oh, it's only week 4. How are you saying? No, this shit, people have been trying to tell me. They've been trying to say, Rio, they need to blow this shit up. And I've been trying to say, no, listen, Ron, you did your part in trying to change the culture on the football side of this organization. And I respect everything you've done here. But I think that shit has ran its course. I don't know how many more weeks I can look at Ron being emotionless with his arms crossed on the sidelines like he could give a single fuck that the game is being played and lost on Sundays. Or show up to his weekly presser eating lunch so casually and nonchalantly like we're not ass. I'm over it. I want to see a complete... It sucks to even think like this because we know the dweeb isn't going anywhere. Dan Snyder will not be forced to sell this team. It may be time for Dan Snyder to be Dan Snyder and do some drastic shit again. He may have to whisk someone away in Commanders 1, his jet, and make them an offer, a Godfather offer they can't refuse, because we need something here. We need a lot of something here. And we need either a young, innovative offensive mind that comes from one of these McVay or Shanahan coaching trees, or we need to somehow, some way get Sean Payton's ass out of retirement, do whatever it takes from the Saints to make it happen, and offer him the John Gruden Godfather deal. I don't know what the fuck needs to happen, but the current regime will not be the regime that turns this organization around. And coming to that realization hurts. It's painful. And I'm so sick of hitting the reset button here as a fan. I'm also sick to my stomach because it is lost today, because I had to do that Packy one-chip blue chip challenge thanks to losing to Mark Holmes' Dallas Cowboys And I'm still feeling it from that damn chip, man. Prayers to my bathroom after I got home, because Lord, that was the spiciest shit I've ever had in my life. And honestly, nothing that spicy should never exist on this earth. Back to the team. Wentz isn't it. I bought in. I believed. He's not good. You know who else is not good? Taylor Heineke. At this point, play Sam Howell for the rest of the season. What the actual fuck is there to lose? At this point, what is there to lose? We're not going anywhere this year. We're not going anywhere. Yeah, it's just 1-3 until it's 1-4, and then 1-5, and then 1-8, and then what? What are we doing? There's no quarterbacks out of the first two guys with any upside at this point. And I believed in Commander Wentz, and I'll roll with him. I'll ride with whoever we tried out there on Sundays. But at this point, we might as well at least see if the 5th round pick can sink or swim. The offensive line is dog shit. And I know that could easily sound like putting him in a Patrick Ramsey situation where he's just going to go out there to the Wolves and get fed on and get preyed on. But what the fuck are we really doing? If Wentz plays more than 70% of the snaps, we got to give up a second instead of a third. We're not going nowhere, so we don't need to give them a second. I don't want to give up our second now. I've seen enough. Everybody said what they said about Wentz. You're correct. But what you're saying about Heineke, you're not correct, because that motherfucker ain't the answer either. So we might as well turn the keys to the 5th round pick out of Sam Howell. You want to know why I'm okay with throwing him to the Wolves? Because he's a 5th round pick. We didn't take him in the 1st round. We didn't take him with this assurance that he's the future of the franchise. Throw his ass out there. He has mobility to escape and make shit happen with his legs. See what the fuck he does. The fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we even doing at this point? What are we playing for that we need to protect? Because if the season continues to go how it's going now, we're going to be picking a quarterback very early on night 1 of the draft here. When, in all actuality, like my boy Michael Haas, and like my boy Jalen, Stunner, Bleeding B&G, they said pick a corner this year or a lineman and take Caleb Williams in 2024, which would mean another year of sucking. But it might be time that next year we rein in offensive-minded young coach, new quarterback. So when you start seeing these prospect profiles, these quarterback and cornerback profiles show up on the YouTube page in the next couple weeks, don't be startled, because that's where we're at right now. I'm mentally, physically, emotionally distraught and exhausted of this team that I love so much. I'm going to be so emotionless next week at FedEx Field when the Titans come to town. I'm still going to show up to all the home games. I'm still going to push out the content, and I'm going to support this scrub-ass team through thick and thin, but I would be remiss not to be real with myself and swallow the pill that we are hot garbage. And Ron Rivera, Carson Wentz, Scott Turner, Jack Del Rio, the triumvirate of Polian, Mayhew, Hurney, all of it. Everything on the football side is not the answer. We don't have a special edge rusher on the roster. The jury's still out on Chase Young, but Montez Sweat is not that. Our secondary is absolute fucking garbage. William Jackson and Kendall Fuller are rotating rotisserie chicken on a regular basis. Their go-to moves as cornerbacks are this: get absolutely fried off jump or grab the receiver. There's no coverage. There's no technique. There's no getting their head around. St. Juice has showed some flash. Bobby McCain is just out there in uniform vibing. Derek Forrest is a great special teams player. We had 2 interceptions today negated by 2 corners because our inept-ass cornerbacks can't keep their fucking hands off of receivers. 2 interceptions that would have changed the trajectory of the game today. But no, my team is incapable of forcing turnovers. Every team in the league is capable of doing such. Not my team. We don't force turnovers. We'll turn that motherfucker over, though. We'll call some bullshit on offense. We'll do everything negative you could possibly think, but we will never win a turnover margin. Man, and to think that I predicted this team to win 11 games this year and I had high hopes for the season. Well, this is Rio, here to admit I was wrong. This shit will not turn around this year, and this shit will not turn around under this regime. But hey, hell to the Washington Commanders. I'm here every week, every day, all week. I'll be there all season. I'm going to rep these boys until the end of time. But it almost feels like these motherfuckers will never in my lifetime get it right. But I like to live by the motto that shooters shoot, and you got to keep shooting your shot. It's time to unload the clip again when the season ends, because I've seen all that I need to see out of this current regime. And it pains me to say that shit, because I thought this was the regime that was going to finally turn things around here. As you can hear it in my voice, I'm mentally out of it with this team. This team that I love so much that never loves me back. I'm sick of it. I want to see better. 2022, it was a good season. It was a good season, but it wasn't. But we already on the looking at 2023 draft prospects. I'm still giving you coverage on a weekly basis. I'll still be at that trash ass stadium, and I'll still be coming with the vibes and rooting them on, even though inevitably we know what the outcome is going to be. I'm probably going to predict a loss every week going forward. Cole Holcomb sucks. Payne and Allen are the only bright spots on the defensive side of the ball. And Jahan Dotson is the only bright spot on the offensive side of the ball. So, I love you, Terry McLaurin. I love you. You're a great guy. You're a very talented receiver. You get put in a straitjacket by a lot of cornerbacks, and it happens very often. Our fans are going to say he was held on every play. He was doubled. He was interfered with. Terry is a high-end mid receiver, and the receiver on the roster with the most upside, polish, and nuance is number 1, the rookie, Jahan Dotson, who I didn't even want on draft day. What a time to be a Washington Commanders fan. Until next time, hail to them, even when they suck. Because they've always sucked during my lifetime. But I'm still here, and I'm still going to rep it to the end of me. Deuces.